Hello everyone, welcome to Optimal Timelines. I am your guide, Sean Collins, and helping you to connect to your most optimal future timeline. So it's that time again. It's your monthly tarot readings for your North Node for June 2021. And remember, as always, watch two videos. I want you to watch one for your North Node by sign and one for your North Node by house. And keep in mind, if you would like a personal consultation reading, there'll be a link in the description box below. And if you're new to the channel and don't know what your North Node is or what it's all about, there's going to be a couple of videos linked in the description box below. So let's get started for this month. Okay, so this is going to be your monthly tarot reading for everybody with their North Node in Leo and or the 5th house for June 2021. So I'm going to connect to the energies and we can start. I call upon my spirit guides and guardians and the wisdom of my ancestors to bring forth the information that's true and correct for all who see this reading, that it may bring them the most beautiful, happy life possible and set them on their most optimal future timeline. So may it be. Okay, so the spread over on this side of the table represents from the 1st to the 15th of the month, and this side over here represents the 16th to the end of the month. Okay, so really interesting what's going on. The overall theme for you North Nodes in Leo and or the 5th house is it's the energy of like you shining brightly, like your inner your inner light is okay. And what it is that, you know, your task in this lifetime is to feel comfortable enough to shine your light out into the world. Okay. Yes, like a star. Okay. And, you know, this is what ends up happening a lot of times, and what, you know, you're learning to do. And different people that have this North Node placement by sign and house are going through this to different degrees. But what can happen a lot of times is that with your South Node in Aquarius and or the 11th house, which is about the collective, which is about groups of people, okay, and also family groups, is that you can tend to hide your light from the world. And the way you hide it is you tuck back in the corner. You can get tucked into a family, and or you can get tucked into a company where you're just part of the machinery, you know, and or whatever it is, like you, or even like just groups of people. It could be like organizations that, you know, that you're involved in. However it is, in this case, I'm saying a lot of you have done this where, you know, you see this a lot with, I call them the reluctant North Node Leos, or the reluctant, you know, 5th house North Nodes, is that, you know, a lot of times what they'll end up doing is, and it is fulfilling their North Node in a way, but what they do is they'll end up really tucking themselves within a family unit, okay? And they'll feel comfortable. And the fifth house does rule children, okay? So I think that what ends up happening is if they're not fully fulfilling their north node in this life, okay, that's fine, okay? We're all learning. We all have had multiple lifetimes with, we're all learning on our path. But it ends up kind of fulfilling their path in a way because they'll end up having like sometimes a lot of children. But like I said, they'll get tucked in a family. And what I'm seeing is, there's this light that's trying to shine forward, and a lot of you can feel it. Like part of you really is like, you should be, doing more, or you should be standing in front more than you should. A lot of you have that inner like feeling, even though it might scare you to kind of like come to the forefront and be and show your light and be somebody, whatever. If it's like seeking, it could be just becoming like prominently seen, okay? And it could be very uncomfortable for some of you, but some of you you all have this kind of deep down, like, kind of gnawing, okay? And one of the things that's coming up for this month is I feel a lot of you are going to start to realize that by you going out and shining your light and giving your creativity, putting yourself out there, it's not an ego trip, but you're actually in service to the world. So follow me on this, okay? So the 5th house, 11th house, axis and polarity, or Leo and Aquarius. Aquarius in the 11th house rules, or like I said, organizations. It rules charities. It rules the collective. Like what's good for the collective. What's good for everybody. It's not all about me in the 5th house. You know what I mean? But in this lifetime, it is all about you. Okay, and you have to get comfortable with that. But here's my point. My point is that by you shining your light, you are helping the world. You are helping the collective. By you holding back your light, you're not doing anyone any favors, and in particular yourself. You're not doing yourself any favors. Even though it might seem like, oh, I don't want to like put myself out there. I have these creative impulses and things I want to do, but I just want to hold back, and you would do much better in the world. You're not helping the world as much as you could if you put that out there. Okay. And I got this, you have this Empress energy, and the Empress energy is coming up a lot this month. Because of, the planet Venus is doing her thing this month. All right. And this is coming up a lot because, what does, the archetype of the benevolent goddess, what is that archetype? It means that she's a goddess. She's shining her light, but she's benevolent. It's like an overflow. One of the images of the goddess is like an overflowing cornucopia. Okay, and so that's how you have to realize it, that by you doing this and stepping to the forefront and shining your light, you're not doing it selfishly, but you're helping in some way. And, you see a lot of, if you ever research different prominent people throughout life that have a North Node in Leo and or the 5th house, and they've done well with that placement, they're people that they do everything like they use their creativity to make people laugh, to make people feel, to make people be inspired, okay? However that is, through music, through art, through whatever, okay? And that's what wants to come up, is something, and even in business, becoming a innovator in business. It doesn't have to even be the arts, but just coming to the forefront. So here, the question I have for you is, what is it within you, North Node in Leo and or the 5th house? What is the light that you're keeping from the world? What is that light? That's what you have to figure out. And that's what I think a lot of you already know the answer to this. If you don't know what your gift is to the world, and or if you're afraid to, express it, start thinking about that. What is it, that you deep down know that you could give to the world? Because when you do this, your South Node side is saying, oh, this isn't the path to go down. That's your conscious ego. South Node is saying, no, don't go down this. But when you go down this path and when you shine that inner light, and it's uncomfortable at first, your whole life will open up in amazing ways. Don't hold back your light. Don't hold back your creativity. Give to the world. This is the energy, like I always say, like North Node in Leo in the 5th house. This is, you are given a gift to be somebody, to shine your light. Now, the opposite end of that, okay, people that have their North Nodes in the other end of that polarity, okay, Aquarius of the 11th house, use their light, but it has to be in direct service and nothing for their personal ego. But for you, you're given full reign as long as it's you're actually given free reign to have an ego, as long as it's in service in some way to the collective, okay? So anyway, this is what's going on for that first half. And then moving on into the second half of the month, there's an energy for you, for a lot of you, where you, and I want to give you a heads up about it, where if you're from the 16th to the end of the month, there could be a feeling of stagnation or sluggishness in your life, like you're not, kind of moving forward. I feel like there could be people that are people from your past coming into your life, or past issues coming back up to the surface that you're going to have to deal with. And it's just a feeling, like a general feeling of like you're, chasing your tail or going around in circles or stuck in the mud. There's this feeling of stagnation. Okay. The reason this is happening is because it's very simply this. It's for you to try to reframe, and here we are, we're having a Mercury retrograde this month, all right? You're supposed to reframe and rethink and reflect on what has transpired in your life. When you do that, that's why this whole stuck energy. And so there's for every one of you, there's something from the past that's going to resurface. Past relationship, it could even be a current relationship, but it could be, something, it could be an old wound or something that you're going to be dealing with from the past. It could be from childhood or from a month ago, okay? But you're going to be reflecting on it and rethinking it and reframing it. Here's the key. Reframe it in light of what I just said. I bet what you're going to find is you're going to find that a lot of these issues that are in the past happened. If you follow the trail through the steps, you're going to find it's because you hid your inner light or your creativity, or made yourself small, or tucked yourself away. That is what ultimately caused this. And I think if you follow it down enough steps, you'll see that. But I don't think you'll have to follow it down that many steps to see that it's really that is why this happened. So when you say, oh, okay, I made myself small and this contributed to this situation, or situation with this person, or I wasn't being true to myself. And that is why ultimately this happened. So like, even on the surface, it might not seem that way, but if you do a little digging, you're going to see that that is really ultimately why a lot of these problems, happen. So all you simply have to do is recognize it. Please do not beat yourself up. Do not, love on yourself. We're all learning. We're all going down this path, and working with your North Node correctly, or any other aspect of your astrological chart, okay, working with it correctly it's a process of learning. And when you find something that you don't like, you just acknowledge it and you say, okay, I see that, I learned from it. So when you see this, when you recognize in ways that you've hid your light and creativity away from the world, and that's what contributed to a lot of issues in your life, it's fine. Love on yourself. Just say, because it's already a win, because you've already recognized it, okay? And when you recognize it and see it for what it is, it's like, boom, okay, that energy opens up. Onward and upward, on to the next phase. You've already learned this, okay? So remember, what is your light? Don't hide your light from the world. I mean, we need North Nodes in Leo. We need North Nodes in the 5th house, okay? Because you are giving to the world like that goddess energy, okay? You're giving to the world out of your abundance and benevolence, okay? And don't hide yourself away anymore. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, liking, sharing, and subscribing, helping me grow the channel and spending some time with me. Much love, much appreciation. Remember, if you'd like a personal reading, there'll be a link in the description box below. And don't forget to comment and say hi. I love to read the comments, and love when you reach out. So thanks much, and we'll talk to you soon. Many blessings.